We are recording. Awesome. Well, Lindsey, thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to let you just go ahead and get started so that we can get to work.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so don't know me. My name is.
Oh, Lindsey, your microphone sounds like it's a little bit fuzzy. It's still like super, super quiet.
All right, let me see what I got going on here.
Okay, that's good. That worked.
Okay.
Yay.
Mom life. My boys dropped Palin dropped my my AirPods and cereal. So we'll see if they work later. So I'm really excited to share with you guys. I love that Janina said that about giving everything a fair shot, because what I like to start my day out with working is I like to do a little vision casting. If you're on my team, you know that that's something that I absolutely love to do. I want to encourage you, if it's not something that you're already doing, is setting a 90-day goal and push for it for a full 90 days. Monthly goals are great. 90-day goals are better. So I love to create a Pinterest board. I'm a visionary. I create a Pinterest board and I fill it with things that are going to excite me for my business, meaning like what I'm working towards. And I fill that with that. I try to do that every single morning for like 10 minutes. I will sit on Pinterest and just vision cast because it gets me excited for my business. You're going to have hard days. You're going to have easy days. You're going to have empowering days. You're going to have chaotic days. And you want to be working towards something because it makes it exciting and it makes it so rewarding. So I want to encourage you to do that. That's a little homework for later, but that is something that I did. I always share that whenever the month that I went Emerald, I spent every single morning before I worked on Pinterest planning a Hawaii trip every single morning. And it was so exciting because I knew what I was working towards. So before we get started, what I like to start my power hours off with is just sharing some gratitude over our business. So you can do this in the chat box here, or you can write it down. For me, I'm a pen and paper girl. So write out for 1 minute what this business is for you. Maybe it's community, maybe it's financial freedom, time freedom, but pour into it, because if you want it to pour back into your life, you have to share gratitude with it first. So I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute. You can type it here or you can write it out yourself. Okay, so the next thing I like to do is if you're a mama or you are busy like me, brain dumping, this should be something that way you're actually able to focus on the other tasks that you want to get done with your business. So many times, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sitting there to send messages and I'm like, oh, there's like 50 other things that I need to be doing. And I'm going to forget if I don't do it right now. And my brain just starts going all over the place. So spend a minute right now and brain dump everything you need to get done with your business. Maybe it's this today, maybe it's this week, and we'll prioritize that later. Okay, so we are just going to move right along and jump into some actual income producing tasks. So one thing I love to do for my community, I know that Janina shared that like we have a very close community. I think that plays a huge role in just celebrating every single win, whether it's big or whether it's small. So I would like for you guys to pick somebody today that you can praise. Maybe that's somebody on your team. If you have not grown a team yet, maybe you want to shout out somebody in your upline that has been really awesome resource for you. Maybe if you don't have either of those, shout out somebody in your life and share that positivity on social media, on their Facebook page, just meeting you where you're at with that. But praise and celebration goes a long ways. Sometimes you're the very first person that has ever said, like, I'm so proud of you for, or I'm so proud of you for vulnerably sharing your story. So wherever you can do that, praise them. I always love to praise in public, whether that is like a group chat that we're in, maybe it's right there on our community page or like right on their Facebook page. So we're going to spend 2 minutes. If you finish one and you have some time left over, praise two people. Okay, so we are going to go on to the next thing. If you guys didn't finish that up, you can feel free to do that while I'm sharing, or stick it on your brain dump for later. So another community tip that I like to do, I call this my retention time, is figuring out a way to bring the community together to feel that third party validation for retention. So I will create a story. If you're not familiar with doing stories, I highly encourage you guys to jump in that. I have gotten so many exposures through doing these, but create a really fun, like see a sip, share a sip story. Maybe you want to get them excited about drinking their water for the day. Share a bottle of water, you chugging your water, and ask them, how are you staying hydrated, and tag some of your team members there. That's a really fun way to get them involved. Another way is sharing one of your wins, or sharing a pink drink selfie, again, a water selfie in your community page, and tagging your ambassadors in it to get them excited to comment their picture as well. Or maybe you have a team chat or a community chat, an accountability chat for your team. Go in there and create a message for them to share their pink drink selfie, their water selfie, what they're having for lunch today, just encouraging them to kind of step into that community more. And I try to do this a few times a week because the community with Plexus is just so different and they don't know it if they don't feel it. So we're going to do a little bit of retention time for 2-3 minutes. And if you guys want to drop any ideas here in the chat, and I would love to hear them.
Guys, you're not all up here. No.
Okay, so we're going to move right along to keep up with our ambassador care. We're going to log into virtual office if this isn't something you do every day. I like to log in and check perks every single day. This is so important for retention. And sometimes people just don't realize that these perks add up and what they add up to. So we are going to run a virtual office perk report. And if you guys need examples of like messages to send out, oh, sorry, I just seen this message in the chat. If you guys need examples of messages to send out, I like to keep them very short and sweet. And I send something, let me pull this up. I actually have somebody. And so I would send her a message, and it would just say something simple like, "Hey, Sierra, I don't know if you've seen, but you are going to be losing $250 in product credit today unless we save your subscription. Do you want me to help you walk through that?" Just short, simple. And then from there, we'll go through editing her subscription, figuring out how she can check her perk reports and all of that. But let's spend like 3 or 4 minutes going through this. And if you guys have any questions about how to reply or anything like that, you can drop it here in the chat, and I'll try to stay better at watching that. Let me unmute myself. So for Perks, you are going to log in and go to your virtual office, and then you're going to hit that menu right on the left-hand side, and it will say Perks Report right there. And then there's going to be 4 little menu options, and you're looking for the one that says days to forfeiture. And you want to check the ones that say today, 1, 2, or 3. So I'm just going to show you guys kind of an example. It'll have somebody's name right here. You're just going to scroll all the way over to where it says total points. So total points are 350, so $35 in a perk credit that will be lost today. Okay, so next we are going to check virtual office subs that run this week. These are just 2 things to do like every day. Super simple task, but just kind of keep that retention level good, and also your ambassadors happy. I love to upsell whenever I'm messaging about a sub that's going to be running. So just to give an example, I have somebody's sub that will be running. Here we go. Her sub will run in 3 days, and she's getting a slim and meta burn. So I'm just going to check in with her and say, you know, hey, I know that you have a sub coming out this week. Are you loving the current routine that you're on? Hear back and forth with her. And then I will always recommend something else. Okay, have you seen our new hydrate drink? It would pair with that great. Or I don't know if you tuned into the event that we hosted last night, but we shared a lot about the active. And I think that that would be such an asset for you. Can I go in and tag you in one of the posts? But just staying ahead of that and recommending a new product, you're going to get upsold everywhere. You're going to go to the salon and get upsold for a shampoo. You're going to go to the mall and get upsold for a membership at one of the stores. So just upselling a product, the more products they can try, the more they're going to love it. So go ahead and check what subs are going to be running. You just pull your points and rank up, hit subscriptions on that chart, and you're going to be able to sort that by the date that they're coming out. I like to scroll all the way down and I just check this weekly. Now that we have the level 1s tab on the new virtual office, it makes it a lot easier. I just click level 1s, hit the subscription, and then scroll down to this week, see who's got a sub going that I can message. If I don't get to everybody today, I just send that in my brain dump and I prioritize it later. If you guys have any questions about that, just let me know in the chat. Carrie, did that answer that question? Okay.
I just also want to add to that. This is amazing with our new compensation advancements, you guys, or enhancements, I should say. It's so important to be having that great customer service and, you know, coming at it from an angle of I get to help the people who've entrusted me with their health, and not the angle of, okay, we have to get everybody to a higher PV so that my pay points are higher, right? But it is still at the end of the day a business, and so you guys do have to think about, you know, yes, we're getting more pay points and there's more money for more people, which is amazing, but in order to keep our pay point high, we do want to be encouraging people to try new products. And why not with the product of the month and with perks? Like, we have so many tools to help people try some products that they're going to love. And you guys, we're not like trying to cheat people out of something. How many of you guys love these products? You know they're amazing. You have probably 5 or 6 that you can't go without. And so you're not trying to sell these people a lip gloss. You know, nothing wrong with lip gloss. I'm wearing some right now. But you're really trying to offer them health and offer them something that's going to help them. So I love that you talked about how everywhere we go, we upsell, we get upsold, Lindsey, because that's so true. So don't think of that as a bad thing, you guys. We're doing this to help people out.
Yes, I love that. I love being upsold too. Like, if I'm loving what I'm already taking, please recommend more things because I want
for sure.
Okay, so if you're not finished with that list yet, at least it gives a little bit of an idea of what to work on later. I want to keep this moving because we have social media stuff that I do next. I really want to share on. The next thing I like to do is follow-up care and really asking questions that invites them to share more about what they're experiencing. I don't know about you guys, but whenever, excuse me, my throat's going to be wild. I'm a fast talker, but when I first got started, my message for follow-up was, hey, how are you liking everything? Or, hey, just wanted to check in with you. And instead, I'm trying to move more to an approach that helps them answer the question with how I want them to answer the question. So I will send a message that's like, hey, Sarah, I know that you've been on the products for 2 weeks. Are you experiencing less cravings, less bloat? Are you seeing an increase in your energy? I'll give like 3 to 5 examples of things that they should be experiencing or could be experiencing on the timeline that they're on. And it kind of just, sometimes people ask you like, hey, how are you feeling? I'm like, oh, I'm okay. But instead they're like, hey, like, did you have breakfast today? Like, what did you think of that? Like, you're going to answer easier, if that makes sense. But you're kind of wanting to slide in how you're wanting them to answer and kind of give them an idea of, actually, yeah, I have been sleeping better, or I have noticed a decrease in the cravings at night. So this is how I do my follow-up care. We can spend like 2 minutes on this with following up with anybody that has ordered in the last month, or maybe you are still working with somebody that's very new and you're still checking in weekly. Maybe try to change the approach there to how you want them to answer. Not only is this so good, but I like to reuse these messages in my stories later of, when I'm saying, oh, I'm sitting down to answer emails or client messages, I like to share their responses if that's okay with them. And I will open up that door after they say, oh, actually I am seeing really great results with, sleeping better at night and my bloat has gone away. It's been a big win for me. I say something like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Would you be okay if I shared that with my community? And 9 times out of 10, they're always like, oh my gosh, yes, that's totally fine. I will make up some cute little posts and I'll post it in my community page. And then I'll also share it in my stories. So that way it's engagement for them, but then they can also see how simple it is to share. Maybe they're an ambassador and it gives them an opportunity to start sharing their journey whenever I create that win post for them. If you guys have any questions about that, just let me know. Okay, so we are going to jump into some social media tasks. Um, so for social media planning, like posts and such, something that I like to do, and especially if you're kind of like, hey, my posts aren't getting a lot of engagement, is looking at the pain point that you're trying to touch in your posts. Um, maybe you're wanting to make a post about your pink drink and it's like, hey, I'm having my pink drink today. And that's great. But what if you could turn that caption into a pain point for somebody that is actually watching your post? Maybe they're suffering from sugar cravings, and that's something that you have overcame and that you can share about. Maybe they're suffering from, I know the biggest one that I always get is digestion and bloat. And they said, I seen your post about digestion and bloat, and that's something that I've always suffered from. And I just thought it was normal to feel like that. How can you turn that post into touching a pain point for someone that's viewing your stuff or someone that you want to view your stuff? Just planning that out. I like to focus on 3 main ones each week. Maybe it's energy. For my business post, it's probably going to be time freedom because I know who my ideal client is. I'm wanting to, talk to mamas. So time freedom is something that I always share about, and just being preventative with health. Yes, 100%. I love that so much. So just really focusing on that pain point every time that you're making a post and thinking to yourself, like, who would I want to see this? How could I add value into somebody's life with these products? And how can I talk about that in this caption? So I would think that maybe just setting aside some time right now and just writing out a few pain points that you would like to add value into your feed this week whenever you're planning your posts. So as you're writing these down, it's always fun to figure out how you can tie this in with your plexus. Maybe it's talking about bloat and you're, talking about how you take BioCleanse for bloat and you're going to make a post about that. And, the BioCleanse bottle in the back and you holding it in your hands or something fun like that. So just figuring out how to tie these pain points into an actual income producing plexus post on your feed that isn't just a pink drink selfie, but it's actually the captions adding value and bringing people in. I feel like we hear it so often, like you have to make sure you post, you have to stay consistent with posting, but it's also like adding value in your post that's really key for that. So after we're done with that, we're going to move into engagement. I love to do engagement messages. I don't know if this is something that you guys already do, but it's something that I personally love to do. It's my favorite way to reach out. I go through my Plexus posts for the past week, any wellness post or Plexus post that I've shared, and anybody that has a liked or commented goes on my list of people to message and thank for engagement. So just as an example, let me pull one up here. I would go through all the likes, and anybody that wasn't on my team or already with Plexus that was just cheering me on. I want to be sure that I'm messaging them something that thanks them for taking the time to support my business. So I'm just going to read you guys a message. Everybody's going to have this completely different. That's okay. Everybody's styles are going to be different. I just want to be able to relay this to you guys so maybe you can use it as bones for one of your posts or one of your messages. Sorry. So this is what I sent this week whenever I already did these. I sent Charity Girl. I wanted to just say thank you. Your support on my health journey posts are always so encouraging. I hope you know how much that means to me. If you're ever looking for a holistic approach to energy, healthy living, and overall wellness, I'm always an open book for questions. Typically I like to end it in a question, but I didn't for this day. And it actually still generated lots of conversations. Sometimes I would end that in, if you're ever looking for a holistic approach to energy, healthy living, and overall wellness, I'm always an open book for questions. I wondered if you'd ever tried Plexus. And those are just both 2 messages that I send out frequently. Let me go ahead and type it here so that way that's easier for you guys. I have any typo errors, just know that I'm typing fast. Okay, I popped that into the chat if anybody needs that for later. So if we want to just pull names from our latest posts, I like to keep them wrote down because I won't always get to everybody all at one time, or conversations will start and then I'll get this sidetracked. So we can spend some time right now going through our posts from the last week and pulling anybody's name that has liked or commented that isn't already with Plexus or that isn't on your team. Okay, sorry guys. I guess it messaged privately. I'm trying to figure out how to copy on here. Nope, that's not it. Okay, I think it went through that time. Y'all let me know if you can see it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we will go ahead and move on. And then if you guys need to circle back to this later, that's okay. We just have a few more tasks and we are I'm messaging people voice messages on exit. So the next thing I like to do is I engage on stories I just choose 5 stories a day. And something that I like to do is because Facebook and Instagram like to just show you the same people every single day. I will go to the stories and just scroll all the way over and keep scrolling and keep scrolling to see the people that you don't really engage with all that often. And I find 5 people that are, if they're in my hot 20 list or they're in my potentials list, perfect. I try to engage with 5 people every single day in their stories, not just like an emoji, but like whatever they're posting about in their stories. I ask a question or I engage with them to kind of get a conversation started. Okay. And then after I do that, I like to engage on 5 recent friends posts. So if you're actively growing your network, you're adding suggested friends, maybe you're networking in groups and you're adding people, this is a great way for them not to get lost in the shuffle of your friends. If you go to your profile page and hit friends, there will be an all tab or a recent tab. And I like to just pick 5 of them that I'm going to go engage on their posts. Okay, perfect. So the next thing I like to do is if you're already in your stories, this is going to be a task that pertains to you, but go to your first story on Facebook or Instagram. And I like to know who my story viewers are. So I try to check this at least once weekly to see just like who new is popping into my stories. And that's going to help me plan my posts accordingly and who I'm talking to in my stories and all that. So this is also people that I like to at least once a week, I go in and I engage with them on their page or on their stories. It helps boost engagement, but also it's a really great relationship builder. They're watching your stories, they're opting in to see what what it is that you're up to. So let's make a quick list of anybody that's watching your stories that maybe you didn't know was watching your stuff, or maybe you've never reached out to about Plexus and chatted before, maybe you've never built a relationship with. Let's make a list of that there. Okay, so those are just a list to kind of keep on hand whenever you're like, okay, I want to engage on social media today. Maybe my engagement's down, or I need to start inviting people and doing reach outs. Here's a great list to pull from that are, they're already opting into your stories. You can go in and engage with them, invite them to learn more. Let's see. I'm trying to see where we're at in our list. Okay, so exposures, this is something that I like to share with my team, is that you should try to shoot for 1 to 3 exposures a week. Not on posting on social media, but through an event, through an opportunity call, through a live video that you're doing, ways that they can opt in to learn more. Maybe you are in a wellness group and you're like, hey, they're hosting a weekly live series, or maybe they're hosting a story Saturday. That's counted. Maybe you're like, you know what, my team's not doing anything this week. I am going to go live on my social media page and just share my testimony, or I'm going to bring somebody on a live to share their testimony on my page. Those all count as big exposures, not just posting on social media, but ways to actually learn more. I try to shoot for 1 to 3 a week. Not only is this great for people that are already watching and maybe they're like, okay, could this be for me? I'm not really sure. But it's also just really great for them seeing that third party validation and learning more, and they get that community feel of Plexus. And it's a really, really, really great way to do reach outs. You're reaching out for them to actually opt in to see something. One of my absolute favorite ways to reach out to new people. So Let's figure out what you can do this week for exposures. Maybe you are messaging your upline or your sponsor right now, like, hey, what events do you see going on? Maybe you're checking the ambassador community page to see what day and time the opportunity call is that you can invite people to. Just figuring out a way to do that. Maybe this is going to be you planning something like a 3-day challenge or a story event that you can share your story. One of my favorite events that we've ever done is our virtual pink drink parties, where we invite everybody on. I mix up my pink drink on it. I share about why I love it. I share a graphic about candida yeast symptoms. I give 2 testimonies, and then, they get to opt in to learn more there. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. It doesn't have to be a whole hour-long event. It can be something simple. If you guys need ideas, you can comment here in the chat, and Janine and I can share some ideas with you guys. But spend a few minutes figuring out how you can expose this week, and that's going to lead into sending messages to invite to that exposure.
So real quick, one thing I want to say for those that don't know what to do, and you're like, maybe my team's not doing something, maybe I'm kind of worn out from doing my own lives all the time. So the Plexus opportunity calls are 5 days a week. And every Monday through Thursday, they're twice a day. So there's one at 11 a.m. Central, and then there's one at 8 p.m. Central. And then every Friday, they're at 11 a.m. Central. So you can put that in your calendar and count on that every single week to be the same. I know that today, the people that are going on at noon, it's going to be a mom, a daughter, and a friend of theirs. So the daughter's 22 and she's had a lot of success with Plexus. So if you have younger people that maybe need to hop on and have a little bit of additional income, or maybe they don't think this is for them because they're younger, then you can have them hop onto that call. But those calls are really great to plug into if you're not already doing something and if your uplines aren't offering those things.
Yes, I love that. Would you guys like to see an event invite? If so, I can type one up here.
Thank you. This has been amazing. I have to go. I have a Zoom at 12 o'clock, a networking group that I'm in, so which I have the Plexus seat. So thank you so much. This has been just fantastic. I loved it. Thanks.
Of course. Thank you for popping on with us.
You're welcome.
Okay, so just 2 invite examples that I have saved that I'll share with you. And again, you're going to want to plug this into whatever type of event you're creating for them. Let me see. Hey, Sarah, I wanted to reach out today because you're someone who's really into health and wellness like me. I've spent a lot of years trying to feel my best and get great results, but I've never found something as solid as this. The supplements I use focus on the right things, getting your body balanced and getting things running smoothly. It's about root healing, natural energy, and clean ingredients that have lasting results. I'd love for you to tune into something that I'm helping host today. Would that be something you're open to? Just short, simple, to the point. And it's a really great reach out message. Another one that I love to send. This is for like your new ambassadors, or maybe you're a newer ambassador or you want to help your new ambassador get some invites out. Hey, Sam, so I haven't even told you about what I've been doing recently, but I absolutely love it. I kept it quiet while I gave it a try, but I'm just feeling so good that I decided to share about it. I was having such a hard time with energy, losing weight, and just overall feeling terrible. So I got started with this gut healing system. Did you happen to see the post that I shared about it on my page today? We're going to be hosting this really fun event to learn more, and I immediately thought of you. It doesn't have to be anything super overcomplicated. It's just kind of, sharing from the heart. one more saved. Let me see. This is another one that I love to send. I like to send voice messages. A lot of people like to send regular messages too. I'm a voice message girl. This is one I love to do though. Hey, Sarah, every time I think about you and your sweet family, I think about how much you love this community of women I work with. Not only are the products legitimately amazing, but the chance to help people create income for your family from your phone and be aligned with something so good is awesome. We have an event tonight that are going to be sharing about all of the products and our opportunity. Are you open to taking a look at this? So this is a great way for reach outs, but also a really great way for follow-ups too. Maybe you have somebody that hasn't gotten started yet and they've been on the fence. I love to send something just spitballing, but like, hey, Sam, I know that you've been interested in getting started. I'm so excited to tell you about this event tonight. Maybe timing wasn't right when we chatted in the past, but we're going to be sharing about XYZ that I know that you've been interested in. Do you have some time tonight to take a look at it? And kind of just going from there. But exposure, exposure, exposure. And that's like what all the messages should be leading to. Janina, they're asking what the times were for that opportunity call.
I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. I know sometimes I remember things better when I see it, and then that way you guys can go ahead and put it in your planners. And I'll put the link in there too, because the link is the exact same every single time.
Yeah, Rebecca, let me type those up in here and I'll post them. Okay, so after I kind of went through the whole process of virtual office ambassador care, social media stuff that we can do each day, and then inviting for exposures. So the last thing I just kind of want to leave you guys with a little bit of homework. I love social media. It's my absolute favorite thing. I am one of those weirdos that like, I love social media. I use it as a positive outlet. And I just think it's amazing to connect with people. I'm an extrovert that's also a stay-at-home mama and a homeschooler. So I need all the personal connection I can get, but I love social media. IG, Instagram is growing so much, and they're really focusing on videos and reels. And honestly, it's just so fun when you can like capture people's personality in these reels, and it's just behind the scenes. So I love it. One thing I want to give you guys just a tip for Instagram reel research. Maybe you're like, hey, I really want to get into reels, but I'm not going to be dancing through the kitchen to get a viral for me video. It's just not going to happen. So I like to go to hashtags that I know are like people that I'm trying to connect with, homeschool moms, mom life, mom of three. I will go to these hashtags and write on the hashtag page. It used to just be photos. Let me see if I can pull this up so you guys can view it. It used to just be photos, and now it is, here we go. Now, when you click it, you are going to see reels on the page right here in the corner. Click that, scroll through and find something that connects with you. Use that audio and remake it. Use all of your fun hashtags, share it on your social media. You can incorporate Plexus, or you can incorporate just something about you, what you're passionate about, your personal brand, but make it fun. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that. That's kind of how I do my Instagram reel research. I try to do that a few times a week. I'll go through the hashtags, see what reels are getting a lot of attraction. The more people on your page, you guys, that's the more people that you can expose to your personal brand, your value, and what you're bringing to the table with Plexus. So that is pretty much my work with me for my hour.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lindsay. I know that we got a lot of value out of that, and it was a lot of really good information. And you guys, I promise if you do these things and you do them consistently, and the key is, I think for me personally, is it's so easy to get caught up in doing all the social media and not doing the reach outs. You guys, the point of the social media and the point of building your network is those reach outs so that you have people to connect with, and people aren't necessarily going to be messaging you. Okay. You have to reach out to these people as well. And so I want to make sure that you guys are also doing that, just like Lindsay mentioned, and moving them through a process. So you have the exposure, you're inviting them to some sort of event. If they don't attend or they say no, add them to your stories and wellness or your ATM group or whatever group that you have for potentials, move them into there. From there, move them into a 3-day challenge or move them into some sort of like hydration challenge. You always want to be moving these people along to something. So that's why I love what Lindsay shared about having those contacts with them, inviting them to something, and then following up with them. Those are so, so key. So thank you guys so much for hopping on. And I am going to be praying for all of your businesses this month. And we're so excited to have you guys here. So thank y'all. And I'll share this recording as soon as I get it. Bye guys. Thank you, Lindsay.
Bye. Thank you guys.